we are geared towards making X the best platform for advertising in the world. And one of the key ways that we're doing that is by applying the smartest AI in the world, the one that's got the highest intelligence on every benchmark, which is the Grok AI, as a result of the merger of XAI and X. And what the Grok AI allows us to do is to really understand how to match a product or service with the consumer, with someone who would find that interesting. It's always worth bearing in mind that the X platform, the buying power of the audience on the X platform is enormous. It is really where CEOs, heads of state, and really the most influential people who are influencers in real life, not online influencers, that is where they go. They don't go to TikTok. Your TikTok's fine platform. Instagram is fine, but the people of substance go to X. And that's where you see the important debates. Nobody announces anything important on, TikTok, even though it's fine platform. But important announcements are on the X platform. And so you really have buying power that is probably in the trillions on the platform. It is truly enormous. So there are very few places that you could reach me or Mark Benioff or Michael Dell or Larry Ellison or you name it. But the X platform is one of the few places, in some cases, one of the only places online that you can actually reach people with truly enormous buying power. So that's just something that I think is often overlooked. And then, as I said, by applying advanced AI to advertising targeting, we're going from the old Twitter system, which frankly, with advertising was somewhat random. There appeared to be essentially no targeting, if not inverse targeting at times. I'd just like to thank everyone who advertised through those days, because unless your brand was so big that it was impossible to miss, if you're McDonald's or something like that, or some big movie or something, then where half of the audience would want to, in fact, consume it, then there was no meaningful targeting before. And I often ask people the question, like, how long have you been using X or Twitter? And they'll say, well, 10 years. And I'll go, well, how many things have you bought on X? And they're like, nothing. Have you ever seen a product that you'd actually, with a call to action to buy, that you want to buy? Like, nope. Until recently. So recently we've made this year, we've made dramatic changes. And we're actually now finally showing people ads that meet their interests. And that ad targeting will be dramatically better as time goes by, as we further leverage the Grok AI to match advertising to people who would want to purchase that product or be interested in that company.
As someone who sells premium menswear and basics, it feels like a lot of our potential customer base and current customer base live on the platform. So thank you for taking the time to talk to all of us and making improvements to the ad platform a priority. Okay. But yeah, my question is about AI, and more specifically, what role will investing in AI, kind of the continual rapid advancements, play in improving X ads targeting, creative optimization, and media buying automation?
Hi, Colin. Great to hear from you. Before I answer your question, what is your feedback for advertising on X so far has been?
It's been an adventure. It's definitely been much better lately. I would say, it's still a little bit hard to trust the platform, but yeah, we've definitely been seeing performance pick up within the past 2 months.
Okay, so how do you think we compare to other ad platforms?
Currently, I feel like Meta has always been kind of like the big beast of the industry. And I don't know if you guys have caught all the way up. Yeah, I definitely see you as kind of like a rising star within the paid space.
All right, yes. So we're definitely leaning into XAI technology to power our ad platform. So it's almost, you can think of, there was an old Twitter ad stack, as Elon mentioned, and then there is a new XAI-based ad stack that we are building right now. We are leading very heavily into Grok throughout our ad platform. So from brand safety, where we're using Grok to understand which content is brand safe and which one is not, to product recommendation, where we take all the user actions that the user has made in the past, feeding it to Grok and letting Grok decide which products the user is going to buy. We're also going to be introducing a bunch of new Grok-powered features in the ad manager, where we're going to be helping advertisers create their campaigns and create creatives for their campaigns. For example, if you don't have a good creative for a particular ad campaign, you can use Grok Imagine to create the creative for you. Grok Imagine right now is the most powerful video generation model out there which can create videos for you and which can take the product creatives and enhance them for you to make them more engaging.
Well, anyways, is it fair to say that you've seen significant improvements in the X advertising platform?
Yeah, I would definitely say that. I mean, especially compared to, I think I ran my first Twitter ads campaign in 2017. Like you were saying, I mean, it's night and day from back then. But yeah, even in the past 3 to 4 months, I feel like we've been able to really pick up performance.
That was good. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited about how the improvements that XAI is going to have across the totality of the platform. We wanted to bring up the next question. Liza Keller, are you on? Liza is the head of integrated marketing at Uber and would love to ask a question. Eliza? No? Okay, we'll keep rolling then over to Casey Corbis. Are you on from BetMGM? Yeah. Making sure you can hear us, Casey. Okay, all right. Well, I think Casey is...
Yep. Can you hear me, Monique?
Oh, yeah, you're on. Okay,
there we go. Hey, thank you so much. And thank you very much. As it was already mentioned, hosting this for, very important reasons as we think about our businesses. I'm with BetMGM and, Elon, you started talking about, it was interesting. I've been a Twitter user an X user since 2009. And I bet you now I'm 53 years old and probably 75% of my purchases now are driven via social media platforms, direct shopping or, affiliates. And I don't think I was racking my brain. I don't think I've purchased anything via, the platform, but I'm sure that will change.
Yeah, we really want to change that. I mean, it's actually quite remarkable because if having used the platform for that long, I mean, how many hours is that? It might be 1,000 hours or a long time, basically. And this shows you really, you almost have to dodge somebody's interests in order to, how do you not accidentally show someone something interesting over that period of time? I find remarkable. So anyway, we're moving from advertising that almost dodges your interests to advertising that very precisely matches the user's interests. And the acid test for that is buying things on the system. And that's why we're interested in being as specific as possible with products so that we can, you can see a product or service that say that, yes, that's needed. And it could be at an individual level or at a corporate level. Going back to what I was saying earlier, we have the wealthiest audience. We have the most influential audience in the world on this platform.
And my specific question was, and thank you, my specific question was, given the evolving media landscape and the growing importance of real-time engagement, particularly in live sports, how do you plan at X to leverage its platform to not only enhance the live sports experience with engineering, product resources, but also, enhancements, as you think about redefining the fan interaction in the future?
Yeah, so I can take this. This is Andrew from the product team.
Yeah, good. Andrew's one of our engineers.
Yeah. So, it's a good point. X is, the center of live discussion, and this is especially true in sports. People often refer to us as the second screen in that, when you're watching sports, everyone's scrolling X to see what's happening and what people are talking about. Previously in Twitter, there wasn't much investment in this product, and we're excited to improve it more. Over the past year, there have been dedicated experiences launched for users to improve this in sports, and we're excited to make that better. So, things we're focusing on are in terms of discoverability here, and then really just personalization. And a lot of this is being driven by Grok. So for you, BetMGM, if you're a sports betting enthusiast, when you're scrolling your feed, we want to show you what bet Drake made or, what bets your friends are making. Or if you just want to see the memes and commentary, you'll see that too. But overall, I think for sports, it's exciting because the incentives are really aligned. The focus is really building an incredible user experience that people love to come to every day. And so what that means is for players, they get to connect with their fans and grow their brand. For the teams, it means they get to grow their community. They get to sell tickets. They get to drive merchandise through X. For the leagues, they get to put their video on X and they get to monetize that video. And then for advertisers, you get to surround that conversation and be a part of the moments that matter most. And that's all with sort of the most engaged sports audience in the world.
So just a few things going on, Casey, with sports on X. Does that sound exciting to you?
That's my business and that's my life. So yes.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much for the question and for joining us today. All right. I think, Liza, are you on?
Sorry, Monique. I could hear you, but I don't think you guys could hear me before. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we sure can. So happy that you are able to join us, and we would love to hear your question.
Yes, thank you. So I was wondering, what do you think the future of brand differentiation looks like when AI starts personalizing many consumer touch points from offers to messaging to media placements?
Yeah, I mean, it will mean that you incorporate advertising into AI search results. So, yeah, the AI will be very precise as it knows people, and will, if it asks for a product recommendation, if somebody's trying to solve a problem or address a need of some kind, the AI will actually get that pretty accurate. And then there's the opportunity to, I guess, advertise at that point to suggest your product or service versus a competitor's. That's my guess for where things go.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liza. All right. I think we are ready for our next question. This one from Dave Kersey, who's the head of global media at Shark Ninja. Dave, are you on? Can you hear?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Thank you for having me. Much like Casey, I'm a avid personal user of the X platform. It's my go-to in the morning and at night, and pretty much any time of a break. Also, like Casey, I'm a huge online shopper, and sometimes my entire outfit is something I purchased through a social ad. But to my question, you spoke a lot about brand safety, and certainly that's on everyone's mind, especially from a marketing perspective. And we all know there's potential for brand safety risk across social platforms, even with the strongest controls in place. Help us understand all that X might be doing to ensure brands are safe once campaigns are in execution or in momentum. And if something does happen, how will X respond and mitigate future issues?
Hey, I can take that. Thanks for that question. So, like I mentioned previously, we have been building new pipelines that integrate Grok into our brand safety systems. So we are using Grok to determine if content is brand unsafe. And what Grok excels at is the real-time nature, and it can pick up on sensitive topics or more contextual understanding. So we have those protections in place. And then, like I said before, we do partner with third parties where you can also see how we are being judged in terms of brand safety and suitability. So we are scoring 99.97 in brand safety and 97 to 98% in brand suitability. To your point, what will we do if something does happen? And we take escalations very seriously here. We have a brand safety engineering team where we take the feedback and look into it, how it happened, and essentially to make sure it will not happen again. But just furthermore, just due to Grok's real-time nature, our system is constantly learning and improving. So let's say an escalation does happen. With the way our systems are set up, it ensures that that incident would not happen again.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate the context.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Dave. And I mean, hopefully everyone can hear just the broad commitment to a safe experience for brands on the platform, really rooted in ensuring control and transparency every step of the way, along with a team that's here to support and give white glove service as well. All right, we can move on to the next question. Gerardo, are you on? Gerardo Soto from Lowe's.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. I'm here. Can you hear me?
We sure can, Gerardo. So you head up media and sports investments for Lowe's. Do you have a question for us today?
Absolutely. First and foremost, I want to say that it's super exciting to see all of the innovation the team is driving at X with AI and Grok. And also to say my team has engaged with Roman and we're looking at integrating our products. So very much looking forward to what comes out of that and the new ad opportunities. My question is, with the growing creator ecosystem and just social commerce in general rising so much, and I know that we've talked about that, how do you see advertising evolving within X to incorporate commerce features like on-premise transactions or integrations with retailer accounts so that we can, brands like mine can drive more seamless conversions and more sales.
Yeah, I think with X Finance, people should be able to buy a product right on the system, and really with kind of one click buying. So they see the product, they can buy with their X money account, and one click and they're done. That's as simple as it gets. So that ultimately, I think, is where in the not too distant future we'll be, making it super easy for customers to buy things instantly.
All right. A great commitment direct from Elon on what the future of commerce can look like in terms of a seamless experience on X. So thank you so much, Gerardo, for that question and for the partnership. I know Roman's excited about what you guys are building together around DPA. Up next, we have Natasha Sinha from Armra. She's in charge of growth marketing for the company. Armra, are you on and ready to ask a question?
Yes, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Perfect. It's great to hear everything that's happening in the advertising space on X, and super excited about that. One question I had was specifically on video formats. I just want to understand what X's vision is with short-form videos specifically on the platform and how y'all plan to encourage overall user engagement in that space. I know Reels is a big thing on other platforms, but hasn't gained much traction yet on X. So was just wondering how you plan on approaching this moving forward and what the next steps with that is.
Yeah, obviously, video, short and long, is actually important. We're trying to make X essentially the everything app where you can experience content in the form of words, pictures, short videos, long videos, messaging, really in any form. And so advertising with the short videos, as well as interstitial ads with the longer content, is very important. And we'll be applying the Grok algorithm to the video advertising as well. There's a new Grok foundation model that just finished training, and that is actually very good at native video understanding. So it'll be able to match video advertising to video content extremely well.
Also, we're evolving our video ad formats and adding the ability to use video for down-funnel performance as well as brand awareness. And we have recently added performance objectives into immersive video. So now you can optimize for website clicks and conversions as well as app installs. And by the way, the app install experience is really cool on iPhone, where the user can just install your app in one click using SK overlay technology from Apple. So we are heavily leaning into short-form video as one of the formats available for advertisers. And in the main feed, we're going to be, as I mentioned before, we would like you to create concise content which does not take up too much space, while if you want to go full screen, immersive video is where you should be advertising.
Amazing. That's great to hear, especially for our brand. We really rely on video content. So great to hear that we can use this on X as well moving forward.
Excellent. Yeah. And good to know that video consumption overall is absolutely exploding on X, in particular with younger generations. So this is something that we would love to work more with you on to make sure that it's effective and impactful for your advertising experience. Thank you so much for the question. We're going to move on to the next one, which is going to come from Russell Wagger, who's the CMO of Kia.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for having me. I know there's a lot of change going on as we speak around us, but my question is about lifting our head up for a second and looking further down the road. So if we fast forward 5 years, what does success look like for X? And more importantly, how will it be impacting people's everyday lives in ways we don't expect today?
Well, I kind of see X as the human kind of group mind, or the collective consciousness of humanity. And, just like the mind of a human, the thoughts range from positive to negative. They're all over the place, sometimes crazy, sometimes sublime, and sometimes beautiful. But it's the collective mind of humanity. And, we're trying very hard with the content algorithm, which is also kind of everything powered by Grok, but we're trying to have an entirely AI driven content recommendation and advertising recommendation system And this is really going to be, I think, very, very, very powerful. But it's given that there's so much content on the system, actually panning through everything that comes, all the content that's submitted is quite difficult, because sometimes that's 100 million pieces of content a day. The X system is the biggest source of news by far on planet Earth. It is, I don't know, probably 100 times bigger than probably for news. It's like somewhere between 10 and 100 times bigger than, say, the next biggest publication. So, like I said, there's 100 million pieces of content posted a day. I mean, how many articles are in a newspaper? Like 50? So it's just not in the same league, But one of the things that one of the long-time shortfalls of the system has been, if it's a new account or a small account, even if they post very compelling content, they've generally, the algorithm has largely ignored them, because it's been a bunch of sort of heuristics or rules of thumb, and it's been very tough, even when somebody posts something very compelling, that does the system actually notice? And now once you've got strong AI like Grok, it can actually read every submission, even though there's 100 million pieces of content a day, and identify that a piece of content is actually intrinsically interesting, that it's compelling, just like a human would be able to read and tell that it's good text, video, or image content, and then add that to the recommendation system. The acid test being that you should be seeing banger posts from small accounts, and that are outside of your sort of immediate follow network, that are that's really the key test there.
Well, thank you very much for the insight, and thank you very much for your partnership.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So things that we're going to do now is we had the opportunity to do some great crowdsourcing from the X platform, taking a look at a lot of questions that were submitted on our post. And we would love to go through some of those questions here and get answers from our team of great engineers, so you guys can have a clear picture of what's going on across the X platform for advertising. The first question is an interesting one, and I think it builds on some of the conversation we've had so far. Is X working on new ad formats, in particular formats that can be in support of e-commerce brands? So Mohit, you want to?
Yeah, I can take that one. Hey all, I'm Mohit, Eng lead on ads product. And product ads, as Elon mentioned, are one of our highest priorities right now. We have the best target audience to sell products to, and we have been a bit behind on this, so we are catching up.
Specific products and services.
Yes,
and services too. But
services.
Specific products and services, as specific as possible, is actually, I think, our top priority, because unless even if you've got incredibly good ad targeting, if you don't actually have the product to recommend to, or product or service to recommend to the person, the smartest AI cannot succeed. That's why we need the very granular products and services.
Yeah, so following up on that, we are launching a new ad format, which is just a single product ads. Right now, you can only pick carousel, but going forward in Ads Manager and Campaign Form, you'll be able to pick single specific product. And then we will just serve one hyper relevant product to the user. And then based on your catalog, we'll rotate on it. And once you make a purchase, we'll understand more and feed it back to the Grok. And then once we solve this problem of having a sleek format and then serving a relevant ad to the user, the next step is purchase. So we want to minimize the friction between ad click and the purchase on our platform. So we are building native checkout, and that will be powered with X Money and then other integration where fulfillment and returns will still be handled by merchants. So we have the checkout API, so they control their customer's journey, and then we'll use that signal to serve more relevant ad. And this should drastically improve the advertiser's performance and the number of purchases that happens on X, which is our goal.
Yeah, it's a very simple goal, which is to finally, I don't know, overcome the curse of Twitter, being that people will have used Twitter or X for a decade and never have bought a single thing, because the advertising system never actually showed them a product or service that they wanted. And so we want to really, do that. We want to. It sounds pretty simple, straightforward, but we want to show people products and services that they actually want, and make it easy for them to buy.
Yeah, and that's actually a great segue to the next question, which is what does your roadmap look like for continued integration with Shopify and improving tracking and conversions to e-commerce stores? So we'll give that back to Mohit to give the update on everything going on there.
Yeah. So just wanted to highlight that in past, running a dynamic product ads on X has been super cumbersome and lengthy process. A merchant has to create an ad account, export their product from other platforms, upload it, and manually keep them in sync. Whenever a product goes out of stock, they have to tell us, and it's been a super complex process. And over that, they have to paste our JavaScript tracking code in their website, and that requires a code update. So this creates a lot.
Way too complicated, and then it didn't work even if you did all that.
Well, then they saw bad performance. So this creates this creates a lot of friction, and especially for small and medium businesses who are trying to do this quickly. So we have automated all of this lengthy process. Now merchants can simply install the X app on Shopify and connect their X handle, and we'll do the rest. We'll automatically create an ad account and catalog for you, and then we'll sync all your Shopify products in our ad system that are updated in real time. Whenever you put a product out of stock on Shopify, that should show up in a few minutes on X. And then the one major update is we'll automatically inject all the event tracking pixel on your website, like add to cart and purchases, so that all the purchase data is flown back to X ads. So we also recently launched a new campaign form for SMBs. So now merchants can simply just tell us their budget and the basic targeting, and then they can create a slick looking ad in few clicks. So once the ad is running and the merchant is getting purchases, all the purchase signal will automatically flow back to X. And then the main important thing for a small merchant is what's the ROI. So now they will be able to access that in Ads Manager, and they can use Grok to get some recommendation on how to make the changes. So we are going to continue improving our Shopify integration, and then there are more exciting updates coming soon.
Shopping will be alive and well on X. The curse will be lifted, which is exciting.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's silly as it sounds. If you spend many hours of your life on a platform, it should show you ads that you of things you want to buy, not of things you don't want to buy. That is insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the ad community is really excited about this. Elon, to have another platform to be able to compete in this space is really exciting.
Well, it's also very measurable at that point. You can say you spent, this certain amount of money to generate how much, revenue and gross margin, and it becomes a very clear-cut decision. You're not sort of shooting in the dark.
Yeah. So the pivoting to the next question, which is, I think, a good one for you, Elon. You touched on this briefly earlier, but the question is, any opportunities to advertise our products in Grok's suggestions in the future?
Yeah, we will have that capability. Our focus thus far has just been on making Grok the smartest and most accurate AI in the world. And I think we've largely succeeded in that. And so we'll turn our attention to, how do we pay for all those expensive GPUs? So, yeah, there will be that opportunity in Grok suggestions. And I think this will actually be also an opportunity to be very precise. So if Grok, if a user's trying to solve a problem, then advertising the specific solution would be ideal at that point. But it really needs to be very, very granular.
Yeah.
Like precise.
It's in alignment with the way that a lot is approached on our platform, which is to build for the user and make it amazing for the user. And if we do that right, then it makes it great for the advertiser as well. Okay, Nandita, another question for you in the world of brand safety. I think great for everyone to just hear from you on everything that's going on. But this question is X still using integral ad science for brand safety and suitability measurement? What are the benchmarks that advertisers can look forward to make sure their ad placements are in line with their brand safety requirements?
Yeah, totally. We do send our ad adjacency data to IAS, or Integral Ad Science, in addition to Double Verify. In terms of benchmarks, I mentioned it a bit earlier, but we do clear. So the global standard for brand suitability is 97%, and we meet that and in fact excel at 98% as well. Yeah.
Great. All right. Thank you for reiterating those points. The next question is, what can X and advertising do for small businesses? This is a question that I'm going to take and what I'm excited to talk about. And I think, first of all, it's important for all businesses to recognize that X is a place for you to really be able to build your business in general. And advertising is certainly an important component of that. And as a reminder, Elon mentioned this at the top of the call, that on X, you have access to the world's most influential people. We really see ourselves as the world's largest focus group. And on X, you have an opportunity to actually talk directly to your customers. Customer service lives on X in a way that it just does not on any other platform. And that connection, that real-time element is one of the things that really sets us apart from other platforms. And I hear frequently from CMOs and different business leaders, and they say to me that X is really the only platform where brands can actually have a voice, where you can build a community, but also a personality for the brand. And it's a chance to do that authentically on X and sometimes with some great humor as well. And it's important to remember that these things are critical for big brands, but also small brands, SMBs too. And in a lot of ways, what we're thinking about at X is how we can truly level the playing field, and we can allow the SMBs to truly compete in an exciting way on the platform. So when you think about that, in addition to all of the things that we've talked about here today, in terms of advancements around advertising, creating beautiful ads, having the opportunity to break through the auction with a beautiful ad, to compete in an exciting way, AI capabilities to streamline the way that you can set up campaigns. We think that X is a fantastic place for SMBs to thrive and to build their business. All right. And so I'm going to pivot to the next question. This one, Roman, I think is a good one for you. The current campaign setup process is unnecessarily lengthy. When can we expect XAI-driven campaign setup where users can input their goals and the model will suggest and create the most effective campaign?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, just really what Grok is actually good enough that you should just be able to upload an ad, do nothing else, and Grok will figure out everything from there. So that you don't need to do anything at all. One click ad. Grok will see how the ad is reacting in the system, who's responding to it, and then dynamically adjust essentially the vector. There's a bunch of numbers called vectors that are associated with any piece of content, and match those vectors to the user vectors, so that as soon as the ad's in the system for more than about 10, 15 minutes, it quickly figures out where it should go. And so to maximize effectiveness, this will be by far the best way, and it'll be just like as easy as falling off a log. Just one click. That's our goal.
Right. I would also like to add to this that, yes, campaign creation, like all of this, you go into ad manager, you create, campaign, you set up your goals. It's all unnecessary lengthy, and we need to simplify it. So essentially, I think you should just use Grok as your account manager. Like big brands have account managers doing it for them. And now all advertisers, including small businesses, will just be able to use Grok as their AI account manager.
Yeah,
essentially.
I mean, we'll still give you the opportunity if you want to sort of manage complex details of the campaign. You can do so, but also then compare that to simply letting Grok handle it and see if Grok is better than doing a complicated ad campaign. I think you'll find it's actually better.
Right. And if you don't have a creative for your ad, Grok will help you generate the creative, whether it's image or a video.
Yeah, I think that's more for smaller businesses, of course, but yeah.
Great. Okay. So another question, kind of thinking about ROI and the platform strengthening overall, what specific strategies and technological innovations, such as AI-enhanced targeting and aesthetic ad formats, is X developing to ensure higher ROI, improved engagement for brands in the coming years?
Yeah, I think, as I said before, we are doing a lot of changes into our auction and introducing aesthetic scores. So all of this is going to be powered by AI. Grok will be judging your ad on, how aesthetically pleasing it is. And I think one of the ways you can improve your ROI is to actually create more engaging and more aesthetically pleasing ads. So this is one of the changes we're making. And then, yes, we are going to be heavily leaning on Grok, as we mentioned several times already in this call, for recommendations where, Grok will essentially take everything we know about the user and recommend ads to them.
And then our final question is, there is a lot of data about our followers that could be leveraged to improve the relevance and effectiveness of our ads. What is X going to do to help us use that to make our ads better?
Yeah, really, Grok's going to take all of that into account. And you'll see the Grok's effectiveness will improve dramatically week over week, if not sometimes day over day. So it's really radically, the rate of improvement is dramatic. So, but Grok really tries to take everything into account and then show products, ads for products or services that users are most likely to be interested in. And the way AI works, it's actually a little sort of esoteric, but like I said, if you drop an ad in the system and just let Grok take care of it, it's going to essentially create a bunch of numbers called vectors. The users have a bunch of numbers called vectors, and you match the vector space of the user and the ad. And the longer the ad is in the system, the better it will match. And it will just automatically find its way to the best match. That's kind of how it works. It's magic, basically. And it should work really well. And over time, it'll be by far the best way to advertise, by far. Nothing else will beat it.
All right. So that's it for the questions for today. You can see there's a lot of general themes and also excitement from the advertising marketplace about the innovation that's happening across X. And I know that they're really excited to hear directly from you, Elon. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
No, just to thank you everyone for listening, and hopefully you can tell that we're committed to making X the best advertising the best platform for advertising, where that's something that works for the makers of products and services and for the consumers of products and services, maximizing the happiness of everyone collectively. And I do think it's actually a very good thing if you can show people products and services that when they need it and exactly servicing their exact need. I think that's a very good thing. And that's what we're striving for here. And that's why my number one request of advertisers is please input products and services that are as specific and granular as possible, which is what allows the Grok AI to then recommend things that are the exact right product or service for the end consumer or business owner. Thank you.